Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and today we're talking about managers, which is obvious because we're playing Football Manager, like we do in every video. But in recent years we've seen ex-players such as the likes of Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, Vincent Kompany. They've all gone from players to managers. And I want to see who else is going to follow that same path in the coming years. So using Football Manager 2022, I have gone 30 years into the future, and I'm going to pick out 13 current present day players who are now managers. Let's dive into the simulation, let's see what happens. Number 1, Adam Lallana. The Brighton midfielder had a great little career. Obviously started at Southampton, he went to Liverpool, he was fabulous, won the league and the Champions League. Now he's at Brighton, tidy little player, very smart, and he's taken those talents to the touchline. And when you have a look at his managerial career, he's managed so many teams in the past 30 years. He retired in 2024, straight away into management with Reading. He spent a bit of time in England, he was Reading, Forest, Sheffield Wednesday. Then in 2030, he got the Celtic job. He didn't stay long though, lasting just 297 days. He won the title and he left on the 27th of November 2030. And that's because he was heading to Germany. He spent 4 years at Schalke, he went to Hoffenheim briefly, he was Cologne manager briefly, very briefly. He tried his hand in France with Marseille, he went to Italy with Napoli, Wolfsburg back in Germany, had to go in Spain with Real Sociedad. Then he got the biggest job to date. In 2041 he became the Chelsea manager. Only there a year, 2 years at Borussia Dortmund, 6 years at Barcelona. In 2051 he is the Tottenham Hotspur manager. At Barcelona he won 6 consecutive La Liga titles, and he won the Spanish League Manager of the Year award on 4 separate occasions. It looks like his best time's been in Spain, but in 2051 he has just finished in 6th with Tottenham Hotspur. Number 2, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yes, in 30 years time, local lad Trent Alexander-Arnold has done what Steven Gerrard is hoping to do, and he is the Liverpool manager at the age of 52. He's a wanted man though, he is wanted by Barcelona. They want him to be their new manager. He's only been the Liverpool boss for a year. Before that he was at Stoke, Middlesbrough, Angers, Lille. He somehow even got the PSG job in 2024. Just like Adam Lallana, not spending long at clubs. I mean, looks like he's never really spent more than a couple of years. Yeah, the longest spell there, Middlesbrough and Hamilton in Scotland. A very strange managerial career, but as a player he spent his whole career at Anfield. Has he won anything as Liverpool manager? He hasn't. He finished 8th in what is currently his only season as Liverpool boss. Number 3, Alfie Morrison. Do you remember Alfie Morrison, who Fulham spent a ridiculous amount of money on in 2018? Well, in 2051, Football Manager 2022 thinks he'll be the France manager, and that's actually after a spell as Fulham boss. I don't know how on earth Alfie Morrison has done this. He ended his career playing for Vancouver, ended his days in 2028. He went into management quite early. He was at Crewe, Forest, he got the Palace job, Brentford, then he had 3 years at Bristol City, he had a venture into Scotland with Dundee and then Aberdeen, then he had 7 years as the Fulham manager. And now he's somehow France's boss. He's good at judging players, he's good at coaching, defending, he's determined, and he's a good man manager, a bit like Steve Bruce apparently. At Aberdeen he won a Scottish Cup, and he also came runners up in the Scottish title. As for Fulham, while he didn't win a trophy, he did come close, as in 2050 they were runners up in the FA Cup, and somehow, even though they only finished 13th, that was enough to convince France. Just for reference, this is France, who in 2051 are the 8th best team in the world. Number 4, Diogo Costa. The hot-headed striker has taken his anger from up front to the touchline, and based on his stats, he's actually quite a good manager. Mentally strong, tactically not inept, technically sound, he's determined, he's great at motivating people management. Diogo Costa's management stats are actually very good, and that's why he's got a 4-star reputation. But weirdly, he spent most of his days as an international manager. 2 years as Norway boss, 2 years with Denmark, 2 years with the Czech Republic, 2 years with Belgium, and 2 years with Spain, just on a constant 2-year cycle going from tournament to tournament as an international boss. In 2051 he's no longer an international manager, he is managing Darmstadt in Germany, who were actually a second tier German side. How's he gone from Spain boss to that? How on earth has that happened, Diego? What's gone on? Number 5, Phil Jones. While he can't get a game for Manchester United in the current day, Phil Jones in 2051 is a former England manager. Between 2048 and 2050, Phil Jones of all people was leading the three lions. Did he have a Gareth Southgate style impact? Considering he only lasted a couple of years, I'm gonna guess not, but I am wrong, because Phil Jones, the Phil Jones, guided England to World Cup glory in 2050. Where was it? How did it happen? They beat Serbia 1-0 in the final. It was actually a second World Cup in 8 years for England, USA winning it in 2046, weirdly. He even did it with 10 men, with England getting a man sent off after 12 minutes. Christ, Phil Jones is an absolute genius. As well as being England manager, he's been in charge of Everton, Brighton, Brentford, AC Milan and Monaco, and he is now the Schalke manager, where he finished 15th in his first Bundesliga season. Not very good, to be honest with you, Phil. Number 6, Ryan Shawcross. We have now got someone who is keeping the Tony Pulis legacy alive. Long throws, tracksuits and baseball caps, that's what I assume Ryan Shawcross is wearing whilst he's patrolling the Luton Town touchline. He's determined, he's good at people management, that's kind of about it. But he's been the Luton manager for bloody ages, he's been there since 2039. He was at Leyton Orient for a year, he had a couple of years at Forest, 4 years at Charlton. It took him 9 years to get into management after retiring from Inter Miami, but he's been the Luton manager for 11 years. And he's just won promotion to the Premier League, beating Bournemouth in the 2051 Sky Bet Championship playoff final. Well done Ryan Shawcross, and well done Luton Town. And it won't be the first time Luton are playing in the Premier League either. Shawcross guided his Hatters to promotion in 2047, he survived for 2 years in 17th place and then went down in 2050. But Luton under Ryan Shawcross, channeling Tony Pulis, are coming straight back up. Number 7, Mauro Icardi. When you read about what's going on with Mauro Icardi and his wife, you'd think you're watching an episode of Desperate Housewives or The Real Housewives of Paris Saint-Germain or The Only Way is Paris. It's drama, drama, drama with the Icardis. And in 2051, Icardi has been Argentina under-20s manager for 16 years. I feel like those kids aren't getting a lot of attention because he's too focused on trying to save his bloody marriage. They did win the Under-20 World Cup in 2045, but it remains to be seen whether or not Mauro Icardi has unearthed the next Lionel Messi. Number 8, Giorgio Chiellini. Here's a story for you. Giorgio Chiellini, at the age of 66, has been the Juventus manager for 17 years. He ended his career with Juventus in 2021, and he's managed Bologna, Cologne, Vigo, Cagliari, Freiburg, Vigo again, and in 2034 he got the gig as Juventus manager. A Juventus legend is now patrolling the touchline. He's probably doing a lot better than Andrea Pirlo did. Since he's been manager, they've won 2 Champions Leagues, only 3 Serie A titles, which is a little bit surprising. They've won a couple of European Super Cups, multitude of Italian Cups, and some Italian Super Cups as well. But based on this, the Serie A domination of Juventus hasn't continued under Giorgio Chiellini. So maybe he's not quite as good as we thought he was. He's got a Scottish guy as his captain, how strange. And they play at João Pedro Park. That is, oh, this is wild. Christ, there's so many videos we can do based on this. More to come in the future. Number 9, Diogo Dalot. While the poor lad's never really managed to get a game since he joined Man United, he's done enough sitting on the bench watching managers to actually become a half-decent manager. In 2051, he's managing Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga, who've just finished 11th, which isn't that good, but ignore that. He's also been Porto boss, he's Everton, Leeds, he's actually had a couple of spells at Everton, but like a lot of these managers, hasn't spent a lot of time at just one club. A couple of years, that's kind of as good as it's got. But he might be on the move again, because Diogo Dalot is wanted by Barcelona, another manager who Barcelona want to employ. Will it be Diogo Dalot? That would be a wild little appointment. Imagine 30 years time, Diogo Dalot is the Barcelona manager. Number 10, Ruben Dias. He's a leader at the back for Manchester City. He's been a bit of a transformative signing for them. He's kind of like the new Vincent Kompany. He's just absolutely colossal. But as a manager, not great. I mean, his stats, he's determined, he's good at motivating, he's fit, but his managerial career is a little bit strange, to be honest with you. So he left Man City in 2034, that's when he retired. It took him 5 years to go into management when he got the Tenerife job. Only lasted about a year, went to Bochum for less than a year, then he was out of the game for a couple of years when he decided just to give up on management and become a fitness coach for Ayr United. A fitness coach. What? He's now the general manager, where he's been there for 8 years, so at least things are steadied now, and he's probably really fit, physically. 11, Tino Livramento. He's only just really broken onto the scene as a player, so seeing him as a manager is quite strange, to be honest with you. But in 2051, Tino Livramento is the Strasbourg manager. That's despite the fact he made 102 appearances for the Three Lions, and he ended up playing for Real Madrid. He spent 11 years at the Bernabeu after joining them in 2025 from Southampton. While he was clearly great as a player, as a manager, it's kind of dying out a bit. He was getting kind of decent jobs early on. He got the Lazio job, he was Aston Villa manager, and then in 2048 he got the Livingston job. Livingston, I mean, that's about as strange as Ruben Dias being the Ayr United fitness coach, for goodness sake. Christ, at one point in time, Ruben Dias and Tino Livramento were both working in Scotland, doing strange jobs. Livramento, the Strasbourg manager, who have just finished 16th in Ligue 1 Uber Eats. Number 12, David Luiz. The crazy Brazilian centre-back is now a crazy, or possibly mild-mannered, based on level of discipline, probably not, a crazy Brazilian manager, and in 2051 he's the Torino boss. He's had plenty of jobs, the biggest being the Brazil job. Between 2044 and 2048 David Luiz was the Brazil manager. Did he do anything for the Samba Stars? He did not, but that's okay. I'd just love to see David Luiz patrol on the touchline with that afro, man. It would be absolutely sensational. He's perm flopping in the wind as he berates another offside decision, throwing his toys out the pram when things go wrong, which might be what happens considering his motivating skills are full. And number 13, Luke Shaw. A man who was berated by Jose Mourinho, who at one point it looked like his career was going nowhere under the special one, but he bounced back under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and in 2051 he's only gone on to become a manager. I mean, not a very good one based on who he's been managing, but a manager nonetheless. He ended his career in Belgium in 2030. Then somehow he broke into management by chance, becoming the Nottingham Forest caretaker boss. He managed St Johnstone, he had a spell at Hull, Dundee, and now he's just spending his days in France. He had 5 years at Marseille between 2046 and 2051, and in 2051 he's the Bordeaux manager who have just finished 5th in Ligue 1. So you know what it is, Luke Shaw's doing just alright as a manager. So who cares if Jose Mourinho thought he was a little bit fat? Screw you, Jose. Right, we will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you want to see another part 2 of this, let me know. I'm more than happy to oblige. But for now, we are going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo. And until next time, we will see you around.